This was Ferran Torres' reaction after his goal against Saudi Arabia was disallowed for offside. Spain were winning 4-0. The goal would have changed absolutely nothing for Spain, but for Ferran, it would have meant the world. He started the first game against Cape Verde, missed multiple chances, and Spain failed to win. Then he came off the bench against Saudi Arabia and again failed to score. He was under pressure. He was criticized. He desperately needed that moment. But the thing is, this wasn't even the worst period of his career. It was nowhere near it. Ever since Ferran Torres joined Barcelona, his career has been a constant struggle. He struggled to live up to expectations. He missed a lot of chances. He was under constant criticism. But among all of his critics, there was always one that stood out more than anyone else: himself. After every missed chance, he felt like he was letting his team down. And the harder he tried to score and redeem himself, the worse things got. But in the 106th minute of the World Cup final against Argentina, he finally proved himself wrong. This is how Ferran Torres redeemed himself and became the Spanish national hero. When Barcelona signed Ferran Torres from Manchester City for $55 million, the expectations were huge. Barcelona had lost Messi the previous summer because of their financial problems, and the club was struggling massively. They needed a new face of their attack, and signing a Spanish international from one of the biggest clubs in the world looked like a clear sign of ambition. At the start, it looked pretty good. Ferran scored a fantastic goal against the Athletic Club in the Copa del Rey, then added 2 assists in the next 2 games, but then came the first warning sign. In the Europa League against Napoli, he scored his penalty but missed multiple clear-cut chances, and after the game finished 1-1, he left the pitch in tears. A few more goals came in the next weeks, including one in the 4-0 win in El Clasico, but the problem was already clear. Ferran could get himself into chances, but often couldn't finish them. And then things got even worse. Barcelona were embarrassingly knocked out of the Europa League by Frankfurt, and that's where something inside Ferran broke. He was the player Barcelona had spent $55 million on in the middle of a financial crisis. He was the player who was supposed to take responsibility when the team struggled, but he had never been used to pressure like that before. At Valencia, he was a talented prospect. At Manchester City, he was mostly a substitute. He had never carried this kind of weight on his shoulders, and he couldn't deal with it. He became obsessed with scoring. Every game became about finally getting the goal that would ease the pressure. Every missed chance felt like the end of the world, but the goals weren't coming. He didn't score for 5 months. From being a certain starter, his role became more and more unclear. Barcelona signed new attacking stars in the summer, Dembélé signed a new contract, and suddenly Ferran's game time was significantly reduced, and every time he came on the pitch, he didn't feel like himself. Every chance he missed shattered his confidence even more. And that confidence didn't only affect his finishing, it affected everything. He looked unsure every time he received the ball. He struggled to even get himself into those chances because he was questioning every single run he could make. His head was simply gone. And over the next months, things kept getting worse. He scored twice on his World Cup debut against Costa Rica, but then Spain got knocked out in the last 16 after failing to break down Morocco. Ferran started blaming himself. He felt like he had let his country down. He failed to score when Spain needed it most, and he fell into a bottomless pit he couldn't escape. Everything felt like hell. He started noticing his training intensity wasn't the same. He wasn't keeping the same standards. He wasn't putting in the extra hours like before. He kept lying to himself. He kept telling himself everything was fine. He kept telling himself the criticism wasn't affecting him, until the lies became too difficult to believe. He realized things couldn't continue like this, so he started therapy, and after a few months of work, things got better. He called himself the Shark to rebuild his confidence. The first months of the 2023-24 season were impressive as he scored many important goals, but then a hamstring injury in February disrupted his momentum, and after he returned, things weren't the same. He didn't score a single goal until the end of the season. When Hansi Flick arrived, things didn't get much better either. Flick trusted him. He valued what Ferran could bring as a player, but the performances didn't come. He got sent off against Girona, then suffered another hamstring injury which ruled him out for another month. But then things finally took off again. He started scoring at a rate like never before and helped Barcelona win the double. The start of the next season was even better. With the aging Lewandowski off and on the bench, Ferran regularly started as the number 9 and didn't disappoint. But then during winter, the same old problems came back. He scored 1 league goal in 4 months. His confidence disappeared. His form disappeared. He was once again desperately reaching for a goal, and it affected his overall performances. When the goal finally came, he was back at his best, and with multiple goals, he helped Barcelona seal back-to-back La Liga titles. But once he joined the national team camp for the World Cup, he couldn't transfer that form. After he failed to score against Cape Verde, the same old doubts returned to his head. The cycle kept continuing. When he scores, he is hungry, he is confident, he is dangerous, he is decisive. But when he misses, when the ball simply doesn't go in, he can't think about anything else, and it affects his whole game, his link-up play, his movement, his ability to get into chances, his finishing. Of course, he is stronger now. He is more resilient. He can overcome struggles better than before. He doesn't fall into the same bottomless pit he fell into a few years ago, but he is still sensitive. At times everything is going right, but at times nothing is working. And when you are a striker for one of the biggest clubs in the world and one of the biggest national teams in the world, you cannot function in those cycles. You have to be ever present, ever reliable. You have to show up when the team needs it the most. Throughout the World Cup, those thoughts were constantly circulating in his head. Little did he know that he would turn up in the biggest moment of all. And this time, he didn't miss. Just like that, Ferran Torres became immortal. He proved everyone wrong. But most importantly, he proved himself wrong. And yet, of all the people he proved wrong, there was one person he proved right. Among all the critics, Luis Enrique was the one who always trusted him. He gave Ferran his national team debut. He kept playing him even during his poor period at Barcelona. He always saw Ferran as a key player for Spain, even when everyone else was asking why. And Ferran paid that trust back. He scored a hat-trick against Germany. He scored a brace to send Spain to the Nations League final. He scored for Spain in both major tournaments under him. Luis Enrique always saw him as crucial for the national team, and in the end, he was proven right.